Hey there, welcome back to Endless Horizons. I'm your host, Mark Lippman, and today we have a great show lined up for you as our poetry caravan heads to Pomona, California to meet up with the poets of El Martillo Press at Cafe con Libros. So stay tuned, that's coming up for you next.
Take the highway to the end of the night, end of the night, end of the night. Take a journey to the bright midnight, end of the night, end of the night. Realms of bliss, realms of light. Some are born to sweet delight. Some are born to sweet delight. Some are born to the endless night. End of the night. End of the night. End of the night. End of the night.
Hey, welcome back to Endless Horizons. We're here in Pomona, California with the co-founder of El Martillo Press, Matt Sedillo, who was our host tonight at Cafe con Libros here in Pomona. Matt, thank you so much for welcoming us here tonight.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. Pomona is a hotbed of poetry, and as much as we want to take Pomona out the world, we want to make sure the world comes to Pomona as well. So, very, very honored to have you out here, Mark.
Yeah, and Pomona actually has a large history for poetry and the arts here. It's an amazing scene that I've been seeing here. Could you tell us a little bit what's going on?
Well, one of the things I always say is that Pomona has more poetry per square foot than anywhere in the world. Pomona Arts Colony is home to so much poetry, so much expression. I mean, it's a great arts colony in terms of the visual arts as well, but as far as poetry is concerned, I think that's a really underheralded story. It's a really somewhat untold story about just how much poetry there is in Pomona.
What do you think brings that here?
Well, the development of the arts colony, the Tessiers, they really invested a lot in this. But you have the Daw Center for the Arts, which is a great gallery that has opened its doors to poetry. You have across the street the School for Arts and Enterprise, and you have here where we are right now, Café con Libros. So you have these 3-4 places where people are just really invested in poetry. But to really be honest, I mean, it's the venues, but it's also the people. So you have part of the show today was Corey Best-Kept Kofer. He's kind of considered the godfather of Pomona poetry. He laid the groundwork for so much to happen. Out of that came David Jude Oliver, who founded A Line Like Mind State. Brian Superb Oliva, who had Urbane Culture for a while. Me and David, we used to run Between the Bars over the DBA. So I think there's been so many. John Branningham used to run San Gabriel Valley Poets out of the Daw Center for the Arts, out of the DBA. So there's so much poetry out here. And it's the venues, it's the people, but it's really the community. So much the support of each other in the city of Pomona really came out of here. I mean, really, in many ways, it was kind of antithesis to slam. It was really really kind of a culture of support, and because of that, so many flowers bloomed.
Now, do you have any overshadowing with the scene in Los Angeles? Does that kind of take away from what's happening in Pomona here?
I mean, the city of Los Angeles has many scenes. I mean, LA is, someone once said that Los Angeles was like 1,000 suburbs searching for a city. It's also 1,000 poetry scenes.
Okay. And this is one of the larger ones of the whole. I understand, yes.
And me, I want everything, so I dip my toes everywhere. So,
okay.
I'm working closely with Fernando Rendon of Medellin, from Advise.
That's the World Poetry Movement.
World Poetry Movement, which I'm the national coordinator. So I'm the national coordinator for the World Poetry Movement in the U.S.
And you're also the literary director of the Mexican Cultural Institute.
I wear many hats.
Yes,
I'm also the literary director of the Mexican Cultural Institute of Los Angeles. I'm also the co-founder of Martillo Press. I'm also the host of Radio La Raza on KPFK.
Yep.
I'm a teaching artist over at Homeboy Industries. I'm a teaching artist in the prisons.
I hear that you're like the hardest working poet on the scene.
Some say, but I don't know. Some might not be familiar with the Vagabond, so yeah.
Well,
I really think that I definitely would say I'm the hardest working poet in Los Angeles, and that's a title I took away many years ago, and I've never relinquished, and no one's come close. And so once I had it, it was me. So.
Well, I don't think anyone's been wanting to put in so much sweat labor as you to get so much success that you've had in actually a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a 15-year overnight success kind of story.
Yeah.
So I've been working hard for many years.
Sure.
But a lot has come to me in that short period of time. But I mean, it's really great to be running into you again, Mark. Because I mean, there's so many parallel paths we've run. I mean, we both won the Dante's Laurel. We both the Joe Hill Labor. Yeah. I think we're probably the only two people. I know for a fact we're the only two people in the world to have those two things. Yeah.
Yes.
So
now, the thing is, there's something special about the work that we both are doing because there's a focus to it.
Of course.
And I'd like you to speak a little bit about the focus of your poetry. Why does your poetry stand out from other books on the shelf, other poets out there?
Well, I think I've definitely put a very specific interest in writing about the times that we live in, right? And so writing about things broader than myself. So even when I do write about my own personal narratives, it's always couched within the broader sweep of history. So I talk about my own personal problems. They're not the problems faced by me, they're problems faced by millions. I'm not the only person to go through a racist experience in high school. I'm not the only person to have been harassed by the police. I'm not the only person to worry about rent. I'm not the only person to worry about healthcare. I'm not the only person on the earth who depends on breathing.
Yes.
And they're poisoning the air.
Yeah.
So the topics I write about tend to be things that are experienced by not just me but by millions, in some cases billions. And so I think that's really important. And I think that in one way, when you think about writing as a public service, not necessarily as self-expression, it's like I'm writing about things that are bigger than myself and puts me in line with something bigger than myself. But at the same time, it really has shaped the career that I've led, the life that I've led, and the career that I've had, because in the city of Rome there are thousands and thousands, if not millions, of poets, and each one of them has a poem about a love lost. They don't need to fly me out to Rome to hear about that, right?
Exactly.
They don't need to fly me out to Berlin. They don't need to fly me out to Medellin. They don't need to fly me out to Havana or Mexico City or
to give them
Beijing.
what they're already
So what they
hearing
already
at
have
home.
there.
They want to
have
hear
people
a
there.
new voice,
They
some
want to
new
hear,
perspective
and
of this
and
world.
so they want to hear new perspectives of the world. So in many ways, to voice the political struggles of the city of Los Angeles, to voice the political struggles of the Chicano people, to voice the political struggles that are somewhat universal but also rooted in a very particular experience, has made international audiences want to hear from me. They want, because they don't want to hear from me, they want to hear from Los Angeles. They want to hear from Chicanos. They want to hear from an American Marxist perspective. They want to hear from something broader than just me, Matt Sedillo, and my personal opinions. And so my poetry is poetry of resistance, because I'm a person of resistance, and what I'm good at is poetry. As an organizer, I'm okay. As somebody who's gonna make sure everyone shows up and makes the phone calls and does this.
Sure,
and that. I can do those things, but I'm not the greatest at that. There are people much better than I am. People much better at setting up digital networks than I am. What I'm really good at, what I'm really, really good at, I don't have any false modesty about this. I'm a very, very good poet. I'm an excellent poet.
So,
yeah.
what I hear you saying is that there's a situation in this world that's upsetting you.
Yeah.
And there's something you can do about it, and that something is writing poetry.
There's a few things I can do, but the thing I'm best at is writing poetry.
And
that's what I'm
so,
focusing on most of.
if you extrapolate this to the rest of all these people out here who want to do something to make this world a better place, and they don't know what to do about it, perhaps they could find the thing that they're best at and use that as a vehicle to make this world a better place.
That's absolutely right. So I think that's absolutely correct. Do what you're best at. There's an objective thing that exists outside of us, and that is the problems, and that is the content of our time. That exists outside of us. What exists within us is our talents, our gifts, what we have to share, and what we can do to strike against those injustices. And that is what you should focus on. The things you're best at. And for anyone who's a writer, even just because the times are very serious doesn't mean your writing has to be serious. If you're very funny, write satire. If you're very serious, then write serious stuff. Your best writing is going to be a natural extension of your personality. The way you normally are. You're going to run the way you walk.
Yes.
Right? So your best writing is going to be like who you are. So be yourself, be a sharpened version of yourself, but be yourself focused against this injustice. Hurl your life against the tyranny that affects us all. And as you do it as yourself, because only you can do that. No one can do it better than you.
Well, you heard that here first, that if you want to make a difference, be the best yourself that you can be, and use that to change the world. Thank you, Matt Sedillo.
Thank you, Mark.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah.
And look at who we have here, just walking right onto the set. Come here, David Romero.
All the celebrities.
Yes.
All the
Okay.
celebrities.
So
here.
look at this. We've just been joined with the other half of El Martillo Press, David A. Romero,
Yes.
poet extraordinaire. Introduce yourself to the audience at home.
All right. Well, yes, my name's David A. Romero. I'm a Mexican-American spoken word artist, multiple generation, second generation on my mother's side. My grandmother was undocumented, proudly. Refused to be naturalized, so refused to learn English. So I'm descended from that. I'm also descended from the great Romero family art legacy. Frank Romero, my uncle, Sonia Romero, my cousin, me, not a talented fine artist, but a spoken word artist.
So what I'm hearing here is you come from both artistic talent and this rebel charge inside you that you're not going to give into the powers that be.
That's right.
Does that kind of sum you up?
Yeah. Spoken, mixed with the working class drive, the ethic of my father. And, maybe that was passed down, along lines. There's something in the blood. My uncle, also a laborer. On my mother's side, my grandfather, my mother's father was a laborer. He paved asphalt. And they said that he worked so hard that he lost feeling in his hands.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That the working class has literally built this country with its own hands.
With its own hands.
And we forget about that.
Yeah.
We forget about all the people that put their sweat and blood and labor into making this country what it is, just so that they can be, pushed around and beat up and kept in debt for their whole lives.
Right,
for generations.
right. And so generations of us that we could end up even looking down upon, because we're taught that, that money, that class, that all of these accoutrements, of the higher classes are the things that we should be aspiring towards, to teach us to look down upon others and to, in some cases, look down upon ourselves, look down upon our families even.
Yeah.
So
Now,
it's ongoing.
It's true, I've heard, that you're also the editor-in-chief.
That's
of
right.
Martillo Press. So are you the one who decides what gets published in the press? How does this work?
Well, the process is 50-50. So, really, it's between Matt and I. Matt Sedillo, co-founder and CEO of Martillo Press. So
That's the guy with the golden parachute, right?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. So it's between the both of us, and but I do like to say that I own the means of production with Martillo Press.
Okay. But coming from the working class, that's actually a good thing?
Yeah.
Now,
So ultimately, I'm to blame for any final editorial decision that's
excellent. Well, now we know who to go to. But let me ask you, is there like an editorial focus? Is there a certain type of work that you're looking for from a poet?
Yes, we're looking, speaking to, my family's experience and my experience, being a poet and having unsteady work and very often working or feeling most comfortable working in blue collar environments. We seek to publish poets who come from the working class, who write about labor, who write about work, who write about internationalism, who work about class systems and change, social movements. And coming from all kinds of different perspectives about how that change might be accomplished. But, really we're looking for some, poets with dirt under their fingernails.
Okay. I've got some acid grease here.
Yeah, show it to the camera. Yeah, so they can.
Hey, that's the life of a poet. You got to get your nails dirty.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I once had a family member who, he accused me of painting my nails, which is just fine. It's a form of self-expression. But yeah, it was all the dirt on my nails.
It's actually a reverse French manicure. Well, David, thank you for all the work that you're doing and being a part of this. What can we expect next from you?
We've got with Martillo Press, we've published 14 titles, and we're coming out with more. We just fortunately completed a collection from a working class author, and keeping in with that tradition, Margarita Gonzalez, who works with the Community Power Collective. Who's a grassroots organizer. She's a seamstress, she's an immigrant, and she is an organizer. So very, very powerful voice, writing forms of poetry and just talking about a variety of social issues, housing, immigration, Palestine, some of the most important issues of our day.
Yes.
We also just finished an international poets anthology, collecting poets from the United States and Europe, and we also published another anthology collecting poets from the United States and Europe, from Venice to Venice, Venezia. Yeah, with the great Mark Lippman as the co-editor of the project, because of course it all wouldn't have been possible without you in introducing us to the great Anna Lombardo and bringing us to the island of Elba in Italy.
That was an incredible experience.
My God, the Tre Amici
They
reunited.
Los Tres Amici.
Yeah. So we look forward to continuing to build bridges. I mean, what visions do we have? We want to publish poets from Tijuana, from Mexico City, from Asia, eventually the Middle East, Africa. I mean, some of these things that I've spitballed. The first ones we actually have tangible steps to work towards them. And we just want to keep going in a multitude of routes from poets who are just getting their start, who come from that powerful working class background, who have great, powerful stories and voices that need to be heard, to some of the most accomplished people who are just pissed off at the publishing establishment. University, top 10, whatever it might be, that set a limit on what they can write, tell them when, where, and how to promote.
They want to control the content of what's being put out there. That's why it's so important to have small presses like El Martillo, because the little guy who has a big voice can get heard, even though it's outside the established realm.
Yeah, and Vagabond, of course. I mean, you set the template. You set the template. You set the pace.
Well, the Padawan is now becoming the master.
Only a master of evil.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I think we better end the interview now. But that's fantastic. Thank you, brother. You heard it here first.
All right, everybody, welcome to Vagabond Poetry Caravan. All right, coming to Pomona, California. We're so honored and thrilled to be hosting this. I've known Mark now for almost like 15, 20 years now. It's been basically since I got started in poetry. Mark has opened so many doors for so many poets, not just nationally but internationally, across borders, across themes. Mark has really, in many ways, made the world a much smaller place. Mark has taken poets to the moon. He's taken at least their words. So Mark is really one of the heroes of our time, and I'm really honored to call him a friend. So let's give it up for Mark. And a word about Pomona. Pomona, California, especially the Arts Colony, probably has more poetry per square foot than anywhere on the planet. And I say this as somebody who's read in Budapest, who's read in Medellin, who's read in Havana, who's read in Mexico City. Nowhere in the world have I seen more poetry than these 2 square blocks. At one point in time, there was 7 open mics between here, there, and there. The history of Pomona poetry is rich and in many ways underappreciated and not well documented. So again, Mark Littman's going to help put an end to that as well, because right now he's filming. And we're gonna get Cedar K. Avalar talk about some of the history of Pomona poetry, as well as David A. Romero. Anyone else who wants to talk about the history of Pomona poetry, we're gonna get that on camera and really let the world know, because Pomona is a very, very poetry-rich place, and that really needs to be heard the world around. So, Pomona, California. So up next, we're gonna turn the mic over to the man of the hour, to the man inspired everyone here across a great journey across the country. Which I'm sure he's going to speak to more. What can I say about him? I've known him for 15, 20 years. I've already talked about that a little bit. He is the winner of the Joe Hill Labor Poetry Award, which I also am. He's the winner of the Dante's Laurel, which I also am. But he's also the Beat Poet Laureate of the United States, something I have never done. So, which I am not, nor have I been. So let's give it up for my brother. The one, the only, the Vagabond, Mark Littman.
I really want to thank Matt Sedillo. When I was on the scene back a couple decades ago, I felt like I was the only political poet there, and then I met Matt. And things changed, because then we formed like a real coalition around this country and planet. One of the things I believe I speak for our entire caravan is that we stand in complete solidarity with the protesters here, looking to report back to the rest of the world what we see here in Los Angeles, because there's so much alternative reality out there that the only thing you can trust these days are the poets. Now on that theme, there's another award that I did get that Matt has not gotten. And oddly enough, it's the Latino Book Award. 10 years ago, I published a book called The Border Process, an anthology in support of justice for Palestine and immigration justice here in the U.S. 10 years ago. And I'd like to read you the title poem from that anthology. It's called The Border Process. I step onto a land where my ancestors planted our family tree over 1,000 years ago. I have known no other sand between my toes, under my feet. This is my only home. One day, though, a stranger arrived, sat down at our table, drank our wine, ate our bread, raped our women, burned our village, then declared me illegal. The color of my skin, the language of my tongue, the God that I chose to believe in, demonized in order to justify their cruelty. The freedom that I enjoyed, my right to self-determination, gone, victim to yet another military occupation. My peace, simply a broken olive branch from the tree they tore down. My home, rubble beneath the tracks of their bulldozers. All I have ever had, all I have ever known, all taken from me. My blood turned into their gold, my heart broken from generations of lies and betrayals. If you cut me, do I not bleed? Crushed beneath the boot of technology by persons with no soul or body to touch, with no heart to feel, eyes blinded by hatred, ears closed to any reason, mouths shut out of fear. Comfortably tucked away in their beds while human beings die in the streets under the batons and artillery shells of a militarized police state. Wrapping oneself in a flag, worse yet, a religion. Making excuses for genocide, sanctioning the murder of children. News actors continue to blame the victims, force-feeding us lies, calling us terrorists because we were born unto the land that they coveted. Who is the real enemy? The one who believes in something different than you? Or the one who uses what you believe in to change who you are? There's no escaping the soul staring back in the mirror, regardless of the shifting lines on some map. Human rights have no borders. I want to bring up to you the counterpart for the East Coast, the guy who's been tearing it up for the last 10 years in New Jersey, building out the New Jersey poetry renaissance that's spreading across the East Coast. And today, let me introduce you to California for the first time, the one and only Damien Rucci.
Gonna make some noise for Captain Libros, Amazing Space. It's a real honor to be here at Pomona. I want to ask you guys a question. You guys ever been in a situation where people were talking about you? Telling tall tales, spreading rumors and building myths? You came to defend yourself because it's all true. And worse than you know, half really did, right? This is for them. It's called Even If I Did, So What? I guess you have me figured out. I never shot the sheriff, but I sure as hell broke the toilet. I prowled empty streets for baggies of white trash divine. I breathed the Atlantic and I cursed the sky. I played Robin Hood so we could eat, and I'm not sorry I'd do it again. I chased country sunsets whenever once, thinking to look back towards home. I went searching for myself and I got lost. I quit every job I've ever had. I've spit in the face of convention and paid the price of your own indignation. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. My shoes have worn down from running away. I swing for home runs every chance that I get. I know one day I'm gonna hit the ball. I've rolled my boulders up and down suburban hills in search for honest men at twilight. I traded my teeth just so I can get off. Can you believe it? My tooth fairy is a tweaker with a heart of gold. I made best friends in fist fights and buried the myths I held sacred in unmarked graves in Indiana. I've been rich in fleeting moments and so poor I couldn't afford to pay mind to any of your concerns. I lost faith in myself when I found it. Right where I left it, under all of my baggage. I walked into the belly of the beast and I came out with the mother in my hands. What I'm really trying to say is I don't regret a thing.
Yeah.
How we all doing tonight? All right. So for the last 7,000 miles, I've been asking every city we stop in this question. Y'all got love out here? Yeah. We got we're in a room full of poets. There's no love? No. Y'all got love? Do y'all also have codependency?
Yeah.
Now, this poem is called Hellbound and Hungry. Because my love is a parachute. Neither of us are going to stick the landing. The view. Rush of wind in our hair. dice in our eyes, laughter in our hips. We are in free fall, and all of Sonora tumbles saw-light yellow, saguaro green, big open blue in all directions as we whip through clouds like great big gray brains. Remembering, Leather Jacket Miami Midnight, where we unlatch the back door of some suburban art collective, drink their IPAs and eat petty theft seasoned chorizo cubanos, and flee. When lights flash sick white, and that flat-faced security guard saying, you can't keep this up forever. Well, we don't need forever. We know Earth is rushing to meet us. We know our parachutes patches won't hold. We know Alabama flea market corn dripping butter down our chins and bruised coast, yellow lines and tire marks, the smell of a Denny's in 3 a.m. Reno, and how afraid sky stars are of LA. But when America's neon hieroglyphs go rear view, and we are wandering Oaxaca's jazz-cobbled streets, those sky stars lean closer when you laid your head on my chest and said, we can't keep this up forever. But our view, our rush of wind in hair, dice in eyes, lion on our breath, as we leapt from cruise away at 20,000 feet, their engines' roars mark our hearts' wildfire hunger and fire. It only knows how to spread through touch, and all we're holding on to is each other, and we know gravity is not afraid. But we're going down swinging. And before we land, I just want to say,
and that relationship is done. This guy has rocked out across America with all of us. I absolutely admire how much energy he has put into the years to really building up his craft and learning how to perform. This rocked so many rooms, and I'm really grateful to call him my friend. Please put your hands together for the one and only Alexander Ragsdale.
stops along the way. And I still remember you, our drunken angel, hung from that ceiling fan in that motel room when you were all too high on freedom. No one cares about anything else, except for me, with a plane ticket home when I could not save any of you from your own undoing.
I'd like to read you a piece here out of this brand new book. It's called Vintage Denim. It's published by Alien Buddha. They're just doing all kinds of anarchistic publishing out of Phoenix, Arizona. Network failure. Compass and chart guide me, yet forsake me at the crossroads. The network is down this decade of autonomous identity, all tangents to be praised. All means and ambition squandered, unmade beds in highway rooms elevated, holding tight to that magnificent magnetized ladder in hopes of joining the password protected in their privilege. It's a vein, not an artery, removing the unappreciated, lost in the mercy of mercury. There is a trace of heavy metal aftertaste. It turns my belly sour in the pre-dawn, bounded by the popular demand to dwindle, to make myself silent and unseen in these spaces, compelling rogues and rebels to bend as bent and slant exactly as expected and directed. I drove myself here, the entire unmade continent behind me. Where of the road, odometer clicking, miles and mystery received as holy sacrament. The network still isn't working for me. Node of redemption shining unreachable, steel mesh and razor wire boundaries abound, certificates of personhood expiring, fitting perfectly with the conformity, the hymn at the bottom unfinished and frayed, network failure, link unfound.
It's called The Devil's Getting Old. No more rebellion in heaven. No more morning star. No more trying to be God. The devil is getting old. No more hooves on rooftops. No more licking flames. No more slam dancing against bone.
The devil is getting old.
No more leather wings, flutes on hillsides. No more betting against the odds.
The devil is getting old.
No more riding waves of eyes. No more Jesus naked hippie cult. No more playing the record backwards. It's getting old.
No more spinning ram's horns to oblivion. No more going stag into the herd. Just moaning in stalagmites of memory.
As he sulks at the center, as he scratches his bristled balls, as he is crowned with shadow, the devil
is getting old.
Minions whisper that the surface is ripe with war, famine, orgies of blood.
But he'd rather stay in the night.
People are gullible, stupid, vain, but let them be. We're all so lost. He doesn't play with the souls he already has. The devil is getting old. He's got an altar of skulls. Now he's resting on his nut. Deflated, a has-been, a never was. He's getting old.
Now he isn't angry anymore. He's blown off the steam that fuels God's damnation machine. He's getting old.
These days, humanity is already evil by itself. They don't need him anymore. The student has become the master. The devil is getting old. He's sick of tricks. He's sick of masks. He wants you to know the real him. The devil getting old.
He's sick of running. He's ready to face the music. Would they dare forgive? Forgive even him? No more eyes aglow. No more fiery furnace passion. Just this heart frozen in ice. The devil.
Getting old.
As he spins in space, as he grins a crescent moon, free at last, alone in the void.
The devil just wants to go home.
Hey, that's it for me.
Human being. I had to exit the freeway or I would have hit my pants. I was in a sunken place. My guts were churning, anxiety flaring. When I'm sick, I spend hours sometimes on my back, doom scrolling bad news. So many strong opinions. Plane crashes, wildfires, fascism, and war. I wrote poems when I could. I made it to payday. Bills paid, flat broke. That's America. Plane crashes and wildfires. On the feeder road, I stopped at the light with what felt like knives in my ass. A homeless guy approached me and handed me a flyer that said, "Between action and reaction is a space. In that space, you are free." There's more than a zero chance our botched leadership is scaling back. There just ain't enough land with 89 seconds left on the doomsday clock. Ain't enough is getting smaller all the time. Maybe they'll detain more people today. Maybe they already have. I ponder these dark realities as I wait for the light to turn green.
Called The Revolution of the Mind. It begins with a quote by Salvador Allende, where he says, "Tell Fidel, I will do my duty." There is no border, there is no line. You cannot encage the revolution of the mind. Be it AK-47 or M16, no bullet or grenade will ever succeed. For there stands the poet, unafraid to bleed, and stain the page with the power of his ink. There stands the artist for whom the canvas cannot contain, the symbols, the images, and ideas they convey. For in the heart of the people a deeper truth lies, and like the seed once planted, the tree will never die. Once prison doors are open, the real dragons emerge. Or so wrote Uncle Ho as the shells around him burst. Yes, they killed Martin and his rival Malcolm X, but neither of them died in a New York ballroom or on a balcony in Memphis. Yes, they killed Reuben in the Silver Dollar Cafe, but the more they killed the champion remained. For there is no border, there is no line. You cannot ensnare the revolution of the mind. The revolution has not failed, the revolution lives on. They pass hateful legislation and the marchers march on. More than ideology, not just philosophy. We move forward into tear gas, a red bandana across our face. From Selma to Milano, we walk, we march, we walk. Our voices will not be stopped by a policeman's black baton. No artifice of demarcation, No fence of twisted wire, no paradigm of hate will contain the flame, for the very paradigms catch fire. For there is no border, there is no line, and you will not enslave the revolution of the mind.
Today I feel like the open blue sky on an autumn morning, untouched. Other days I feel like the soil's belly, dark, sequestered, turning and slowly sprouting. Tomorrow I'll surely not feel like yesterday, and isn't that okay? I want to feel as strong as the oak, as immutable as the mountains, but even they have been carved out over time, and trees may be chopped down. Even water can change its form from liquid to ice, and when they collide in the clouds, they make lightning. So why do we curse the ever-present elements within us? You are the open blue sky. You are the soil's belly. You are as strong as the oak. You are as fluid as water. You are as solid as ice. You are electric like lightning. You are the universe. How could it not be here for your taking?
Yeah! It's called Candelita. The more I move, the more I begin to leak. The cactus juice I drank in the morning is way too strong. Its power runs deeper than production lines. It's our mother's hands, the juice that comes from desert lips. It's what viciously fights the poisons of man. She could care less about the 90-day probationary period for new hire. My legs are clenched. My stomach is pushing. And I've been holding, running around, unloading boxes, lifting pallets, then repeating the cycle over and over and over again. While trying to walk, my face becomes red. It burns like when a working man loses all dignity. When he realizes this world has nothing to offer, not even a bathroom break to take a... Managers are trying to see who can hang and who can go home. All eyes are watching, and out of nowhere, I feel something inside me come out. The slimy feeling in my cheeks begins to talk. The ancient gushing voice of the cactus begins to say, "Hijo, esto no es normal." As soon as lunchtime hits, I slowly walk to the bathroom. I sit on the toilet. I look down, and there they are. They don't lie. My manhood stripped away and put on display for my spirit to see. While sitting here, I begin to laugh. These are the shape of Central America. I can see my people in Honduras, where factory workers have been known to wear diapers while working. While sitting here, I can't help but to laugh, fighting back tears, while looking out into the sun through a small bathroom window and say, "Puchica loco, pásame un pamper." Thank you.
This poem is called School America. Schools in America are broken. Private or public, it doesn't matter. Underfunded, overcrowded, 50 students to one classroom. No notepads, no textbooks, no heat, no AC. Stay comfortably in your seat. Sit in a broken chair. Sit there for 12 years. Get your financial aid for your student debt. Maybe your grandkids will be able to pay off the cost of you having gone to college. Graduate. On the day of your party, the bill collectors will send notice. Cheer up, grad. The job board will keep you posted. Schooled in America. Raise your hands. Learn your reenactment. Sit down for pilgrims and Thanksgiving. Trace your thumb. Trace your fingers. Gobble, gobble. The thumb is the head. Native Americans severed at the neck. Tied the turkey, bound and shackled.
Africans made American, another finger, with Mexicans strung up or brought down from a distance, next finger, indentured servants carried in the bowels across the ocean, next finger, Chinese workers segregated in the boom towns they built, next finger, there aren't enough fingers. When they ask you to tell them about America, show them the finger, the school of the Americas. Salute WINSEC, your local army base in the USA will put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. Here's your lesson in invasion, your occupation. Your flag with our troops equals your independence. Smash your opposition, call it counterterrorism. Did you say you wanted to attend the School of the Americas? This is your opportunity. Just ask Emmanuel Noriega if we offer job security. I know you want that. Better life for you and your kids. We all want that, but I don't think you know what school is. I know you want that. Better life for you and your kids. We all want that, but I don't think you know what school is. The first schools taught navigation. Slavery funded the age of exploration. They say the difference between a skilled and non-skilled worker is education. They say they need you to compete with China, India, and other rising nations. But no John Henry can outwork an industry replaced by automation. The more repetitive the motion, the quicker goes the occupation. So take your online courses for your core curriculum, standardized testing with computers in the schools. Aren't you so glad you got an education? Thank you.
Yeah. We still had time. We still write lines. Capturing moments on the shoulders of my uncles feels like I'm flying. Their stories had wings, and I'm the albatross flying across your favorite ocean again. When beyond a wingspan, I stand there hoping again. Childhood trauma things, man, I stand here coping again. Mama tell us to come in, the block be smoking again. I'm hoping it ends. I hope for my friends. I'm hopeful for the hopeless with hopelessly thin. Pockets full of lint, now we breathing again. Rainbow at the end, finally feeling the wind. Cabbage patching. The dust is moonwalking. And the leaves are throwing their hands up. And our favorite MCs got us throwing our hands up. And we be like, throw our hands up. And they be like 5 fingers, closed palm, elbow at an angle. Rapping about police brutality and eating MCs, and how they eat MCs and talk about black pride and black inventions and gold chains and white Adidas. And how they tell stories at 6 in the morning on a Saturday. Similarly saying, perfect personification, metaphor manipulating, freestyle fanatic MC. Now they write lines on 9 to 5 lunch breaks, 95 lines. Rhymes since 95 about Glock 9s and how someone died from a Glock 9. On the very corner they rapped about, by the very gun they talked about, the Glock 9. And how they died as martyrs and heroes and mad villains on Halloween, and metal masks and shiny caskets. And how they pick up pens and write life, and they influence young black and brown boys to pick up pens and write life. Our night life ends when the street light illuminates and mama waits at the screen door with the baby on her hip. Off-white bra strap peeking out her slip. Flying insects, doing backflips and figure eights. Not black quarterback, one last pass while she waits. And our Magic Johnson, one last dime while she waits. And our LL Cool J, one last verse while she waits. With food on our plate, we take that cornbread to the head. That same pork that sick us dead, we devour like hard candy. Hand me a power nap when it's past full. Steadfast when it's not cool. Gluttony like past times. Salmon croquettes for the last time. We ration block cheese and top ramen, our lifeline. At nighttime, mama going off on that beef stroganoff. Louisiana hot sauce ain't hot. We watch the pot simmer till it's done. You see, we them ones, we them sons, we them stepsons, we them ones we've been waiting for. At your door, play shoes, socks mismatching. and the trees are cabbage patching, and the dust is moonwalking. And I'm moonwalking like Neil Armstrong, black arms long enough to box with angels. From an angle, they want us to star spangle, but my stars dangle their hands in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. Thank you very much. My name is Des.
This poem is dedicated to the city of Los Angeles. We're going through a lot right now, and this is probably the most Los Angeles poem I have to read. Los Angeles full of abuelas with grandkids in Spanish with a watchful eye with them with the Virgin Jesus. Make a village out of a duplex, raised Catholic, but the roots are indigenous. Several generations of family extension all growing in one plot. Hand me down to the shared rules, rooms, and reflections. In la quech, porque mi casa es tu casa, and promise family living. That's palabra. It's like a candle. Burn some sage, pick your saints, at your altar side of the cross. The sound of the conch, your prayers lift in four directions, and that's culture, not contradiction. Folks in the back, they fight for living. Fight 15 hail from the rowdy section of Dodger Stadium, but the heart still burned with the fire from that Chavez ravine. And here is home of La Reina. At 54 cents on the dollar, America's most exploited worker. Neglected, disrespected, underrepresented, presumed incompetent. If she lives life as expected, she'll be labeled statistic. If she managed to outpace them, threatened, they will blame affirmative action. By the way, they will not see her. They will demand her labor, paid, unpaid, smiling, her eyes humbled, and her mouth silent. Lay the river. Cities past, present, and future. Queen of angels. Invisible to those who float through canyons, lagoons, and cemeteries, whitewashing adobe through a series of fevered dreams connected by a bridge called her back. Those make demands. To stories told to bury the past, the ones that serve to remind her that she works for them, that she's lucky to even have a job here in El Pueblo, La Señora, La Reina, Los Ángeles, Del Rio, por siglos. It's called La La Land, in Ace for the Pueblo. In the 1890s, brickyards of Montebello built one again, only beaten and shot. Looking for no Mexicans, no dogs, looking for rules, for instead of schools, looking for written out the history of the city. We found as we were priced at the homes of our mothers, yet more and more of greater Los Angeles suddenly discovered there's a struggle of our forebears. Pan, historia, iteras, victoria. Siempre the struggle is real. La lucha sigue arena. The sons of front lines of every fight, holding it down, holding the better out of the sky, fighting education, fighting for education, fighting for tenants' rights, fighting migra, y la jura, police, chinga la ice, fighting for dignity, hers and ours, all the damn time. Proud and proud and proud and proud of the hearts and hands, the backbone of each race fist through which two fingers up. When we say Donald Trump, that's not identity politics. That is the cry of the proletariat. And at 54 cents on the dollar, she is the face of it. So when you see her, push some other mother stores, lock my cash, raise them a third, fourth, fifth, shift to the oppressed, show some respect, bow your head, bend the knee. All hail La Reina, the once and future queen.
Yeah! Unfortunately, that's all the time we have left today, but make sure to tune in next time as our caravan heads into Los Angeles for some more great adventures. Until then, remember to follow your dreams and keep your eye on the horizon.